At a time when humanity danced among the stars and spaceships flew like silver birds across the cosmic ocean. In the year 2326, a powerful shadow architect, Noxara, decided she wanted a child. But not just any child. She created Rapunzel, a girl whose hair wasn't just hair, but a cascade of golden light woven with micro-robots designed to mirror the very stars themselves. Noxara, in her possessive brilliance, hid Rapunzel away in an orbital tower high above the crimson sands of Mars. This wasn't some dusty old fortress. It was a living, breathing marvel of technology, humming with drones, crisscrossed by laser grids, and guarded by shimmering energy portals. Rapunzel grew up in this gilded cage, but she was never truly alone. Her hair was her companion. The micro-robots within it were her friends. She learned to command them, to weave them into ladders of light that could span vast chambers, or shape them into shields that pulsed with defensive energy. She'd send them out like a flock of fireworks, watching them dance and play with the patrol drones she saw as her curious pets. One fateful day, a young, daring spaceship pilot named Neolan stumbled upon the tower. An explorer by trade and a seeker of legends by heart, he was drawn to the strange energy signature emanating from the structure. As his ship drew closer, Noxara's defenses roared to life, sending arcs of crackling energy and swarms of glimmering drones to intercept him. A wave of concussive light blasted his cockpit, overwhelming his senses and plunging his ship's instruments into chaos. He was blinded, disoriented, adrift, but he had to cover his eyes so as not to be blinded by the bright light and could barely see. But down in the tower, Rapunzel felt his presence, a new consciousness brushing against her isolated world. She wouldn't let him be destroyed. In a fluid, determined motion, she sent her micro-robots streaming out into the void. Weaving between lasers and darting around patrolling drones as if guided by instinct. They formed a luminous, guiding path, and then her hair itself descended, a shimmering golden staircase unfurling through the vacuum of space, offering the blinded prince a safe path to her sanctuary. Neolan, trusting this impossible lifeline, began his ascent. Every movement measured as sparks of light danced around him and the void of space yawned beneath. Every step was a battle. Drones swarmed them like angry hornets, firing bolts of plasma, while sparks and fragments ricocheted off the metallic walls, turning the corridor into a storm of light and danger. Laser beams sliced through the air, turning the tower's corridors into a deadly light show. Pulsating energy fields tried to tear them apart. As they fought their way towards the central chamber, a new corridor suddenly materialized before them, a trap sprung by Noxara. From the darkness, massive spherical drones rolled towards them, firing beams and launching small, explosive charges. "We have to move now," Rapunzel shouted, her hair whipping round them like ropes of pure light. "How do we get through this?" Neolan shouted back, dodging a beam that sizzled a few inches from him. "Follow my hair," she commanded, "and don't look down." Her golden strands stretched ahead like a glowing bridge, twisting and turning through the void as warning sparks flared around them. Her hair twisted and expanded, forming a glowing tunnel around them, absorbing the explosive blasts and deflecting the laser fire. "Come on, faster," Rapunzel urged, her hair already forming a new, spiraling staircase that led them upwards, away from the chaos. But they scrambled into an observation deck, the metal door hissing shut behind them, sealing them in a chamber bathed in red light as the hum of distant drones reverberated through the walls. For the first time, they paused, catching their breath, the weight of the battle pressing on their shoulders as flickering lights danced across the observation deck. Rapunzel looked at him with her eyes wide open, with a mixture of terror and exhilarating adrenaline, her heart racing as golden strands of her hair shimmered like fire in the dim, flickering lights of the deck. In that moment, they knew they weren't just a survivor and a rescuer anymore. They were a team. Continuing their climb, they discovered a secret room, a place Noxera had kept hidden, its walls pulsing with a faint, otherworldly light that hinted at long-forgotten secrets. Inside, suspended in a crystal matrix, were fragments of a life Rapunzel's mother's memories, her true legacy locked away by the shadow architect. In these memories, Rapunzel saw that Noxera had not created her as she thought, but had taken her when she was a baby from her family. The images of her past flashing like shattered starlight, filling her with both sorrow and a fierce determination. Noxera couldn't let them see it. She unleashed her masterpiece, a colossal, snake-like drone that slithered and coiled through the tower's architecture, its metallic scales scraping against the walls. It lunged, but Rapunzel was ready. Her hair flared out, creating a fence of blinding light, momentarily trapping the mechanical serpent and giving Neolan the opening he needed to dodge its strike. Twisting just in time as a jet of sparks and plasma seared past him, leaving the air crackling with energy. The final confrontation was nothing short of epic. It was Noxera's cold, calculated technology against Rapunzel's living, intuitive light. Drones, lasers, and energy portals versus a torrent of golden hair that moved like a sentient creature, striking, absorbing, and deflecting every single attack. Neolan, no longer a passive follower, became an active participant, moving with precision and courage as he launched attacks and navigated the chaos around them. Guided by Rapunzel's luminous strands, which highlighted controls and pathways, he raced to a master console. With a few keystrokes, he hacked into the tower's core security system, turning Noxera's own weapons against her. The drones halted their attack on the duo and swiveled, their red optical sensors now fixed on their creator. In the last chaotic moments, the tower's own containment fields activated, ensnaring Noxera in a cage of pure energy, which then detached and drifted silently toward the Martian surface below, safely away from them, the red dust glowing faintly beneath as the windless plains stretched endlessly into the horizon. Silence fell. The battle was over. In the quiet, Rapunzel's hair began to glow brighter than ever before, a gentle, warm light that filled the tower and spilled out the windows, illuminating the vast red desert of Mars stretching out beneath them. Rapunzel, using the tower's systems, activated a medical function that restored Neolan's sight. He blinked, and the first thing he truly saw was her face, bathed in the glow of her hair, and beyond her, the breathtaking view of a world he'd only ever seen on a screen. The tower was finally free, and so was Rapunzel, her golden hair shimmering like sunlight over the red Martian plains, a symbol of triumph and newfound freedom. She had found a life beyond her prison walls, and in Neolan, a partner for the adventures that awaited. Together, they would travel the universe, their ship a beacon of hope, chasing lost legends and seeking out new light among the endless stars. And just like the fairy tales of old, their real story had only just begun. With countless stars to explore, secrets to uncover, and adventures waiting beyond the horizons of the known universe. Thanks for watching. If you loved this futuristic fairy tale, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. See you in the stars.